Hey guys, this is Zoid and welcome to Gamer Tag Zero. Now in today's guide I will be showing you the tier list of best characters you can find in Super String. So let's begin with the guide. Now the first character I'm gonna show you is Kang. Kang is basically a double specialist character, which means he is a pure specialist. His main abilities revolve around Mind Breaker and Mind Collapse. This is basically a confusion ability which confuses your opponents, and his ultimate is just for silencing the opponent, which is a great ability and can come in clutch in a lot of situations. I have used him and he's a great character to have in your team. Since he's a niche character, I will be placing him in the S tier. Now moving over to the second character, which is Seokhwan. Seokhwan is a great defensive offensive type character. You can have him in your team if you're lacking defense and he'll do wonders. That is because he has 4 skills, 2 of them which are heavily based on taunt. The third is based on Nirvana, which is basically gaining buff from the taunts, and the fourth is utilizing the taunt in the form of Reawakened Man. Now what this ultimate does is it deals a lot of AoE damage to your opponent. Now since he is mainly dependent on his taunt abilities and then the rest of his abilities are dependent on that, I'll be not placing him in the top tier of characters, which is the SS tier. I will be placing him in the S tier. Now moving over to the third character, which is Munsu. Munsu is a great DPS character in my opinion and a definite to have in your team. He has a lot of abilities like Unchained, Troublemaker, Surge and Dancing Bullet, all of which deals a lot of damage to your opponent. A pure damage type character, as you can see, and a definite SS tier in my opinion. Moving over to my fourth character, which is Ju. Now Ju is a heavily based damage character. Now his defense lies on this ability, which is gaining HP when it attacks the opponent. But other than that, his ultimate is pure damage, and he basically sheathes his sword inside and then waits for one turn and then unleashes the attack in the form of AoE, which deals a lot of damage. I have used him so many times and I cannot tell you how many times he has like properly dealt the most damage in matches. So a definite keeper in your team. But since he waits for one turn, I will put him in the S tier. Now coming over to Suki. Suki is a great character. She is defense and a support character. Her support comes in the form of cheer up when she does her animation and the ally gains some health. This is a AoE called Wrath of the Wolf, which is her ultimate. Does pierce damage, does a decent amount of damage, and also taunts. Now why taunt, you may ask? She gains eternal life, so she does a lot of taunting. She gains eternal life, which also grants her rejuvenation, and then she also does pierce damage. You'll get a lot of things with her, and she's also SS tier. And in real also I'll put her in the SS tier. Wonhyo. Now the main 2 abilities of Wonhyo you need to use are his Licorice and his Magma Dragon. These 2 go in sync with each other since Magma Dragon utilizes the Licorice unique state, and this basically inflicts speed down and attack down, and he enters the Licorice state. So these 2 go in synergy with each other. The other abilities are alright. I have used them and they are not that much effective. So yeah, he's a SS tier. Now moving over to Kildong, a typical niche healer. So I don't think you will be using her more in the PvE side of the game. I have used her in the PvP side of the game and she's decent, not bad at all. But she's a niche character, so I'll be mostly placing her in the A tier or the B tier, somewhere in the middle. Now coming over to Bitnara. She has some great abilities which deal a lot of damage. Her ultimate literally awakens her, which is also called blackout. Her first ability does a lot of damage. This is basically a buff ability which buffs your ally and also yourself depending on the HP you have. And this is also a healing ability that she has. She's a great healer as well as a DPS character, as you can see from her defense and attack stats. And she lands in the S tier. Now coming over to Yerin. Yerin is a niche healer in my opinion. Her moves are not that great. She can heal to about some extent but not too much. Her damage are alright. The shaky hands can come in clutch in some situations but not all. Hence I will be placing her in the A or the B tier. That depends upon you. Now coming over to Boyoung. Boyoung is a great DPS unit in my opinion. She also has a support ability. Her ultimate I think is an AoE which does a lot of damage. She also has a buff ability which is this one I think. Yeah, so she's decent in my opinion, but she's alright, so I will be placing her in the A tier. Now this character Bong Chun, he is great for literally stunning your opponents, gaining turns, dealing damage and also freezing. Don't underestimate this character depending upon his rating. I think they should have given him the SS rating, but that's fine. He lands in the S tier for me due to his lot of utilities that he has. Like this one, the mini bong, which is his drone. His drone is basically called the bong and uses it to great advantages. So he is an SS tier. Now Brillheart is your free to play character which you will get somewhere around the first or second chapter as you play along with the game. She is also a good unit. I'll rate her A tier because her abilities are average, not that great. She can heal herself while dealing damage with this ability, the energy drain. This is a DPS ability called Devil's Guillotine, and the other abilities are also DPS in my opinion. They are flashy, they're cool, I know, but she will land in the A tier. Aikawa. Aikawa is also a good character in my opinion. He has a lot of buff debuff abilities, but he's your typical niche character. Like you can see by these symbols, he's a pure specialist and his abilities are not that great. I mean, if someone deals a lot of damage, he would be gone in like a single or a 2 turn. So he's definitely a A or a B tier character according to me. Jang Deokman. I think the developers tried to reach a lot with this character, but they couldn't achieve that much. He's good. I won't say he's bad, but I think the devs could have done a lot with this character. His abilities are mainly defensive. He's a pure defense type character, but his abilities are like average, not that great. His first 2 abilities deal average to like not so good damage, so I don't think you should keep him in your team where you have other such great defensive characters. I don't think you will need Jang Deokman, so I will be placing him in the A or the B tier. Dolseok. Dolseok is not that great of a character. I have used him in the PvP and the PvE also. I have tried a lot of combinations with this guy and he does not work out at all. I will try to update you later on this character, but as of now he remains in the B or the A tier, I suppose, if you can figure out some combinations with this character. Now Uchida. I like this kid a lot because he has a lot of potential and he has an ability which can freeze the opponent, which is this one, the mist, which freezes the opponent and it does it for 2 turns, so that's not bad at all. I have used him in the PvP more on the PvP side and less on the PvE side, and he's great for turning the game on its head. So I think you should keep him in your team, especially if you're a PvP guy like me. Now the next character I will be talking about is Leonard Shin. Leonard Shin is a good character. He does a lot of debuffs to the opponent. He has a poison damage in the form of debuff rain, which also causes debuff to the opponent, and his buff block, which disables the buff for the enemies, which is also a great move. He also has some DPS abilities like this one and this one also. No, this one is for self-defense. I mean this one. This one is great for damage, like 105% damage is great, I think. So I think Leonard Shin will be somewhere in between the S and the A tier. That depends upon you. I will be putting him in the S tier. Now Kwae Tacheon or Tacheon. This character design is like great, but the skills are not that good. Like her, also the AoE which she has, her AoE is not that great at all. Like I have used it in the PvE and PvE. They do damage, the effect is also there, the shock effect is also there, but the after effect is not that good. So I don't think you can use her for a long time. I think you should place her like in the A or the B tier. I would place her in the A tier because she's somewhat viable. Now moving on, Catalina. I like this character design a lot because she has, let's say, an AoE attack, a buff ability, and also decent damage in the form of empirical fencing. Her final attack, which is Muspelheim, it calls in a ship and it deals a lot of AoE damage, like the ray fires from the ship. It's a cool animation, you'll see if you haven't used her. Most of you have, I think. And her greatest speech is also a good buff ability. So a definite S tier in my opinion. Oh Sejeong. Now don't be fooled by this rating. She's a great character and she's also a disabler. She does a great damage also. Her final ability called the suppressive fire does a great job of stunning the enemies. I would definitely use her in my team, and I also have used her in my team, and it has bore a lot of fruit for me. So a definite keeper in my opinion, and an S tier. To your surprise, she is an S tier. Now I will come to Mamia. Now she may seem like your typical nurse, but she does a lot of damage along with some good support. The support comes in the form of medical procedure. Her other abilities are also good. Now this one, the ultimate, the Muspelheim railgun. This one does chunky damage to a lot of units. I have used this move and this move does a lot of damage. She's a definite keeper. You can place her in the S tier also, but for the time being I'm placing her the A tier, and I will see how the game progresses, then I'll be updating you. Now moving on to Kaira. Kaira has good silence abilities, some decent damage, and also this one, the toggle type H. This one sets off bombs, does a lot of buff and debuff damage. This also does stun damage, which is stackable as you can see. A definite keeper in my opinion, and she will be S or A tier. Now coming to Ponzol. Now this character is like in my top 10 of the best characters in this game. That is because of his resurrection ability. Now this character along with one other character, let me show you which character is that. It should be down here. Kaira. This character. These two are great units. These two can turn the game in their heads, on their heads like instantly. That is because of their resurrection skills. Now he gets damage, he dies, then he resurrects himself, and he gets some turns where he's immortal. So, and he can do a lot of damage. He has a hefty damage to him. Since he's an offensive type character, he does excellent damage. So he's definitely an S tier for me. I try to use him in both the PvE and PvE, and they do well with my team. Now coming over to Diana. Diana is a typical A tier character for me since she's niche offense. All her abilities are based on offense, as you can see, and also status effect like the burn effect. Deals 145. This also is a burn. This also is a burn effect. So she's basically your niche damage dealer and an A tier for me. She's decent, not that bad at all. A Meyer. Meyer is decent specialist and offensive type character. She's also a damage dealer. Your typical like mixture character. She'll mostly be in the A or the mid B, high B tier. Sungmina. Sungmina is also a decent healer and her offensive skills are not that great. I have used her and this one, the offensive skill, they are not great at all. She does a decent heal, but that's all she does. So I'll mostly keep her in the B tier or maybe in the late A tier. Yuuitae. This guy may seem like your average wizard, but he's great. Now why great? This one, the manipulation. Now if say your team is like half dead, two guys are dead, you use this, you resurrect them, they come back, they do damage to your opponent is in baffles, is what is going on, and that's what this guy does. He does comebacks with this move, and he also has other damaging moves and buff block abilities, and he also has damage abilities. So basically don't be fooled by this specialist and support symbols. He's a great unit, definitely S or N, top A tier in my opinion. Now coming over to Lee. Now Lee is a good taunt unit in my opinion. He's similar to Seokhwan, but his ability also revolves around him healing, like this move, zombie mode. This also heals him for like 7.5% of max HP, which is great. This is also a taunt move, which is his ultimate called the mental breakdown. This is killer thrust, which also is a taunt move. So great unit in my opinion. Don't be fooled by his rating. You should definitely keep him in your team if you don't have other units. And definite S or a top A tier for me. Now Lee Baeksu. This character design is a lot of flawed, I think. The developers, I don't know what they're thinking about. I have his special equipment, the core equipment, the Lee Baeksu's golden driver, but that doesn't help him that much. He's still like an average to mediocre character in my opinion. So he's definitely a B tier. Marlene, you can use her in a lot of boss fights. She has a lot of good offense skills. This one, the grandiose, she does pierce damage and damage by 135%. That is a lot of damage. And pierce is 20%. That is also a great move. Her ultimate Eroica is also a good move, which also does pierce damage. So she's a definite A tier in my opinion. Since she's a niche character, she's A tier. Now PyeongGang, she's a good healer, a good buff ability, a character. She also does a good job of healing allies and providing them with resuscitate. The resuscitate is a good ability which basically when your HP drops below 30%, it heals, or I think what it does is it revives instantly. So basically she's a good unit, but since she's a niche healer and a mediocre one in my opinion, so she lands in the A tier. Ponzol. Now this character is not good at all. I have used him in both the versions and he all his abilities lie in this one, the Wrath of the Forest, and that's it. None of the other moves are so viable in my opinion, so I'll put him in the B tier. A Lim Han Rim. She's a good specialist and support character, but not a great one in my opinion. I'll put him in the A or the B tier. Kim Han. Kim Han is a great offense character. I have used him, and he can carry you in early game if you get him. He's a S tier character, I know, but I mean S rating character, I know, but he can do a lot of damage. So if you want early game carries, definitely keep him in your team, and definitely a tier A character. A Rotevick. Rotevick may seem like your average priest, which he is actually, but he has some great abilities, and he also has his final ability, which also gives you a lot of healing, which is this one, the Angelic Blessing. I have used him in mainly the PvP modes, not so much in the PvE, but in the PvP modes he does a lot of damage, and he also has debuff and buff abilities, which is also great. So a definite keeper in my opinion, in the early game especially, and in the PvP side of things. I'll rate him in the A or the high B tier. Now Cuckoo. Cuckoo may come in as surprise, but he's great. He's a definite A tier in my opinion. He's a niche support and an offense character. His ultimate ability does a lot of damage. I have faced a Cuckoo player who like dealt a lot of crit damage to me and literally turned the game on its head. Hence, I think he's a viable character. I would need more research with him, so I won't be placing him like in the definite B tier. So I mostly be putting him in the A tier. A Myovol. Myovol is your typical mixture of characters like specialist and offense. He's decent, but she's not that great, so I won't be using her that much, and I don't think you should use her that much either. I think she's a B or a late A tier character. Yamaha. Yamaha is good in PvP, I think. He's not that viable in PvE. Yamaha, I think you'll get the option to pick him in the final stage of the PvP selection. You can pick him. He's a great offense. He does a lot of damage also. Don't be fooled by this A rating. Hence Yamaha will land in the A tier. A Miss Wang. Miss Wang is also an A tier according to me. She's decent but not that great. Your typical niche mixture of characters, the specialist offense. She has an AoE called the Bombshell, which is also great. This is also her ability. The ultimate ability called the Wolf Pack, which also gives bomb status. You can use her with Munsu, and the bomb status will brush off to Munsu quite well. But other than that, she is an average character. I think you should place her in the A tier. Now all these characters like Kang Huije and Lu, the entire CRF team, like the captain, the bomber, a phoenix, the soldiers, they will land in the C tier because they are not viable at all. I have tried them. It's not that I haven't tried them, but they just won't work with the game. I don't think they're just filler characters or what, but it is what it is. So these are all just filler characters in my opinion. Now Samus is good. Samus is also great. Her bullet train is good. Her ultimate is definitely good. So I'll put her in the A tier. Cheol, he's also good. He's a great damage dealer. I have used him in PvP aspect mainly, and his ultimate is great. I have used it, and it deals a lot of damage in my opinion. So don't be fooled by this rating. He's definitely an A tier character. There are other characters I want to talk about. The main ones. Here they are. First, Suho Kang. I haven't received Suho Kang yet, but I have heard that he's great. A definite SS tier in my opinion, just due to this. Look at this. is called Champion. This literally has a PvP mode inside of an ultimate. You can use this in the PvP mode, and this will do a lot of damage to the opponent. This basically enters you and your opponent in a PvP mode where you both can only deal damage to each other. No one else can interfere, neither can they do damage to you or your abilities. So he's a definite SS tier for me. Veronica, S tier. She's a good defense character and a good offense character also. She's SS as you can see. And yeah, she has taunt ability, she deals damage. She's basically your typical defense offense mixture. Yak. Yak is your, like, when you go to your summon you see this character. Now he's good, he has some decent abilities. He has a soul bang which deals a lot of damage and also silences the opponents. I have used it and this is a great move. You should definitely pick him if you have the chance to. I have used this character in the PvP mainly. Since you can see I haven't unlocked this character for PvE, so I cannot say much about them, but a definite S tier in my opinion. Now moving over to Hasty. Hasty is your top SS tier character. Let me tell you, she has a lot of buffs which she can grant you, like this energy shield and the toggle type F, which is a 4-turn move. This taunts the opponent. She is also a good escort character in my opinion. When you escort someone, basically if someone damages him or her, you can use Hasty to attack that opponent. So an extra turn in my opinion. Definite keeper and a top SS tier. Red Swan. Red Swan lands in the S tier. She is your typical mixture character, as you can see, specialist and offense. She's good for damage dealing and inflicting some buffs and debuffs on your opponents, but that's about it. So she lands in the S tier. Now coming over to Johan. Johan is also a good character. He is S tier according to me. He has some decent healing moves. His ultimate is not that great. I didn't find his ultimate to be that specifically well built in my opinion, but the character structure is good. He does a lot of healing and buffs. He also resists effects, so he's good. Now coming over to Agite. Agite is a great character, I think one of the best in the game. Now what Agite does is he has some elemental effects to him, like the freeze, the shocked, but his main ability is the transcend. Now what transcend does is it transforms him into a higher being. Now what this higher being does is it deals a lot of DPS damage to units. It also has an ability where it devours them and steals their, I think it's life essence, but he heals himself and it can turn the game on its head. I have used Agite a number of times and he has changed the game for me. Definite SS tier. Kanghyun. Now one of the best, if not the best defenses in the game is Kanghyun. Basically if you use him with this guy, Royal Guard, who also gives you an overshield with his ultimate, you can literally be like immortal for like 2 or 3 turns. Definite keeper in my opinion, best defensive character in the game as of now, and you should definitely use him. Definite SS tier. Jeon Youngha or Super Strings Bruce Lee. Nah, just kidding. He's a great damage dealer. He has some good moves. He has the invincibility move where he becomes invincible and he removes all the debuffs from himself and also deals damage to his opponent. This is also known as Dragon Rage. I absolutely like this character and I have also used him a number of times in PvP mainly, but I have discussed with players who have used him in PvE and they are also great. So he is an S tier or a lower SS tier character. Now Kang Hanyol. Kang Hanyol is an okayish character in my opinion. He's, as you can see, a pure support type character. But I think you should use him properly. If you use him properly, you can outlast your opponents easily. I have used him in such a way, and it has borne me a great fruit. The healing abilities which this kid has, is great in my opinion, and a definite keeper in my opinion. You can use him in PvP, PvE content, skirmishes, and a lot of other activities. He'll definitely be a great support in your team, and a S or an SS tier in my opinion. Now Lilia, she is pure damage, as you can see from the icons here. She is pure damage. All she does is bleed, crit damage, and pure damage. She's one of the best DPSs in the game, and not the best, but one of the best DPSs. Definite keeper and a top SS tier. Now Hasiwu. Hasiwu is a great support character. I have used her. I have also faced her in some game modes, and she's a bit overpowered in them. Let me be honest. Her catharsis is excellent. She grants a lot of buffs to the allies. She debuffs some enemies. If you use her in conjunction with other characters, she is definitely an SS tier character. Now Wonhyo. Wonhyo is also a great character. She is also a SS tier character because of her abilities to grant buffs and heal yourself and allies. Her satellite beam does pierce 2 damage, which is basically 100% damage. That's a lot of pierce damage, and pierce 2 basically ignores 30% of the target's defense, which is a decent amount. Usually the other characters have 20% pierce, but she has 30% pierce, so she definitely lands in the SS tier. Cornelia, she is also a top tier SS tier character. Her giant step, I have used it, and the base recovery is excellent on this one, and the additional recovery is awesome also. She comes in at a lot of clutch situations, and I definitely recommend her in your team. Now Kawuka. Kawuka is a great character. I haven't had the chance to play her in the PvE section. I have played with her in the PvP section. And this one, the Dimensional Anchor or the Dimension Anchor. This is a great move. Set it off Kang Tawu. This is also a great move. You'll see the animation, it's awesome. I have used her. This one is an AoE move, and it deals a lot of damage to the opponent. This is basically a pierce, so it also gives 20% extra damage. Basically it ignores the defense of the targets. Definite keeper in your team and a SS tier. Shin Hyul is a great support character, but an SS tier. I don't think she's an SS tier, she's an S tier, because all her abilities revolve around only healing and healing, but she doesn't have any damage or the least bit of damage. This one, the charge deals like literally very less damage, so she lands in the S tier. Van is a great character, but S tier in my opinion, because his survivability is not that great. Hence, I'll put him in the S tier. Now Min Jung-woo. This character is awesome in my opinion. His trigger and violet, when used in conjunction, can deal a lot of damage. And I have used him in PvP mainly. As you can see, none of these characters are unlocked for me, so I haven't tested them for PvE, but my friends have used them, and some of them are higher levels, so they have told me he's viable, but not that viable in PvE. Hence, I will put him in the S tier. Sando, the best damage dealer in the game in my opinion. She gives a good and a tough competition to Lilia in terms of damage. All her moves are based on damage. This one is a buff. This one is pure damage, which is called Dragon Slash. Definite SS tier in my opinion, and I think she's one of the best damage dealers in the game, if not the best. Kira, you should use him in the game. He's also a resurrection type character. So this one, the holy one, basically what it does is he loses the HP and enters Holy Grail unique state, and this is in conjunction with the mass production, which is basically 117% strike damage to an enemy, deals a ton of damage. I have used these two in conjunction and it has wiped single units in like one single turn. So these two are very OP in my opinion. She is a definite S tier. He is a definite S tier. Echo is a good defense unit, definite keeper in your team. As you can see from these abilities, he also has a taunt ability, so you can use him in the A tier or the late SS tier. All these characters are fillers in my opinion. You don't need to use them in any mode of the game. They're just simply fillers. I will talk about one or two characters here. Mito is one of them. He's one of the best support characters. He's specialist I know, but he's a great support character. The Jack Frost. This one is OP. I have used it and this one is great. This one does a lot of stun damage, and like it has 2-turn effects, so it disables the enemies for 2 turns. He also has damage abilities like the Chrono Shot, deals 105% damage. And he is a definite SS tier, in not SS, I mean S tier or a late SS tier you can say. Now Kim Chuslu is also a good DPS unit. You can use him in your team. He also has Kiss of Death, which basically is a heal ability and also a damage ability. So he's a A tier. Baeksu is a typical damage dealer. His main 8-fold part does a lot of damage. I have used it and this one is great move. So you definitely need to use him in your PvP or PvE aspects, and definitely an A tier. Taeyu is a great character in my opinion. His ultimate, the Lunar Slayer, does a lot of damage, and his tear deals plus 35 extra damage with buff effects. So he's a great damage dealer in my opinion. A definite PvP pick and an A tier. Alan Harmon, he can be an S tier character, but I have put him in the A tier. But the ultimate he has, called the Divine Rescue, this basically resurrects one of your defeated allies, which is like a great move. Like if you're down by your character, you can literally revive him or her and be back in the game. He also has buff moves. This one, Med Drop and Divine Rescue used together can be a great mixture of moves. So he's definitely an A or a late SS tier character. The rest are just filler characters. Yes, the Royal Guard, as I mentioned earlier, his ultimate is great. It gives a overshield and buff to him and his allies. A definite keeper and a S or a late or early A tier in my opinion. So yeah, that's basically it for this guide of the best heroes you can pick in Super String. This is basically a tier list. I have prepared a tier list for this particular game. You can see here, this is the SS tier characters, which is the best. These are the S tier characters. This is A tier. These are the B tiers as I discussed, and this is the C tier, which are basically fillers. So yeah, that's it for this guide. If it has helped you, do like and share. Leave a comment if you have any suggestions. Please note that this is a suggestive guide, so don't be too harsh on me, and let me know in the comments below. do subscribe if you want more of such content, and I see you in the next video. This is Zoid signing off.